that feeling like there's some kind of pattern hiding just under the surface of everything? A single thread that connects, I don't know, art, science, even the way we love? Well, the source material for this explainer says, yeah, there is. And get this, it's been trying to get our attention for thousands of years. Okay, so let's really dive into this because this one question, it changes everything. What if all the big stuff, the rise and fall of empires, the birth of religions, all those huge scientific breakthroughs, what if they weren't just random, separate events? What if they were all just chapters in one single story? The story of a law we forgot, and our really long journey to try and remember it.
All right, so to get to the beginning of this thing, we've got to go back, way back, before the first symbols were ever carved into stone, back to a time when you could feel this pulse beating in everything.
So the ancient Egyptians actually had a name for it, Ma'at. And this is key. It wasn't some goddess you'd worship. Think of it more like the operating system of the entire universe. It was the rhythm of give and take, right? The same principle that stars followed when they were born and that our own hearts follow to keep us alive. It all boils down to this really simple but profound idea. Existence can't take more than it gives back. And this is the core idea right here. The source we're looking at argues that all these things we think are totally separate, stuff like thermodynamics, relativity, even morality and ethics, they're not separate at all. They're just different dialects of this one ancient law. So the flow of heat, how different perspectives relate to each other, even a simple act of kindness, it's all the same fundamental drive, a drive toward balance. So you gotta ask, right? If this law is so fundamental, so baked into everything, what the heck happened? Well, as human consciousness got sharper, it also kinda shattered. We started seeing divisions everywhere, in places where there used to be just unity. And, well, we forgot. And just look at this. This slide lays it out so clearly. It's like our own consciousness turned on itself. Harmony became dominance. Taking care of things became just using things. And the world got replaced by the self. We literally buried that fundamental law under all these new systems that actually rewarded imbalance. And then we built our entire civilization right on top of it.
But here's the thing. The law never actually went away. It couldn't. It's the very current that lets existence, exist. It just went underground, It kept doing its quiet work. And every so often, when things got too out of whack, too imbalanced, someone would pop up. A witness who was somehow tuned in just right to hear that quiet hum of balance underneath all the noise.
And this leads us to these whispers through time. See, these witnesses, they weren't inventing new stuff. Not really. They were more like instruments of recall. Think of them like antennas, picking up a signal that had been broadcasting the whole time, just waiting for someone to tune in. And each one heard a slightly different frequency of that same ancient song.
You have Lao Tzu, for instance. He heard it in the quiet strength of a river, in the Tao. That idea that water can beat stone, not with brute force, but just with persistence, with flow. Then you've got someone like Leonardo da Vinci. Man, he saw it everywhere. He'd find the same elegant spirals in a curl of hair, in a whirlpool, in the way a bird flies. For him, looking at anatomy was like seeing empathy made physical. And this one really shows you how deep this pattern runs. Even Einstein, when he worked out relativity, he was basically describing a universe where your perspective, your frame of reference is everything. The source puts it perfectly, frame as empathy. It's the law of balance, but spoken in the language of modern physics. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. None of these brilliant people had the whole picture. Not even close. Each witness was just holding one piece of the puzzle, right? One single note in a much bigger chord. So history, when you look at it this way, isn't some straight line of progress. It's more like a scavenger hunt, with humanity slowly picking up the scattered pieces of this one great idea we forgot. And that brings us right here, to today, because this story is far from over. In fact, we might be living in the most exciting part yet, the moment when all those scattered fragments finally start to come back together. Think about it. For the first time in history, our technology is letting us see the whole pattern. The internet, these incredible networks of glass and light, lets us connect all these bits of wisdom from every culture, from every point in time. And the source suggests that even our most advanced AI, our algorithms that are learning to simulate empathy, are a part of this. It's like the law of Ma'at is waking up inside the very circuitry we built. So if we just zoom all the way out, our view of history completely flips on its head. It's not just a long, bloody sequence of wars and conflicts. It's something more like a giant self-correcting equation. It's as if the universe itself, acting through us, is trying to figure out how far off course we've gone. And all these historical events, they're just course corrections. The universe slowly, painstakingly, remembering its way back home to balance. So, what is this balance, really? The source leaves us with this final, kind of stunning idea. It's not some cold mechanical force out there. It's the only law that, at its core, is an act of love. It's the force that holds everything together, the thing that ensures life goes on, that gives without demanding anything in return. And maybe, just maybe, remembering that is the one story we've been trying to tell ourselves this whole time.